you would notice there during the break, Scott was one of a number of Newcastle fans who came up and actually thanked you for the work you've done, the journalistic work you have done in recent times regarding the job that Steve Bruce was doing at the football club. And you've been quite out there saying Bruce's time was up. Simon was taking you to task as we hit the break there. But je regrette rien. You regret nothing. What you wrote, you stand by.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. And this was something which we talked on during the break there, and we ended the previous segment on it. This protection of Steve Bruce beyond Tyneside. Now, that antagonised supporters here, and at times it managed to multiply the criticism of Steve because they're rowing back against you guys. Now, I know why that exists, and I think it's for three reasons. First of all, I think he's a former Manchester United captain who is of an age whereby he's 10, 12, 15 years older than a lot of the guys in the media who are powerful voices and powerful positions, and I get why they respect him. Wonderful playing career. I've got nothing but respect for what he did in that regard. Yeah. Two, I think he must be a good bloke beyond this environment. There are too many people I respect, the likes of Alan Shearer, who say Steve Bruce is a good bloke to be around. I don't think we saw that side here. I think we saw a version of Steve that even he would look back on and say he didn't particularly like himself, and his family would too. At times he could be quite petty, quite vindictive. There was a lot of barbed comments as well. He fell out with people. Listen, I don't think respect is a two-way thing. I don't think he was very respectful towards myself at times, banning a journalist for a story that was true. I don't think he was respectful to some of his players at times.
And we're agreed on that, Simon. Bans don't work. What's the point in banning a journalist? He's going to do his job anyway.
No, there's no point in banning a journalist because you give them more power than they're entitled to. You give them more credence than they're entitled to. You give them more meaning. I mean, I spoke to him last week and said to him I wouldn't go into a press conference and tell him I'm going to smack him. I wouldn't do it because I wouldn't give them that value. Right. If you've got strong feelings about them, don't let them know. Right. But the idea, you see, I don't get this idea. Because someone doesn't follow your vantage point, it means that subsequently they're a cheerleader for somebody else. I employed the fella. Might have been a long time ago. I understand how he works. I've watched his record. I understand him as an individual. And if anybody was going to fall out with Steve Bruce, it was me, because I did fall out with him. I gave Steve Bruce probably a bigger smack than any of you put together because I injuncted him and made him look a fool in football terms. So for me to have a viewpoint which suggests that there needs to be balance and fairness, given the circumstances someone has to work in, what was happening with this guy was a pile-on. Some of it was of his own making, but a lot of it was based upon the tone and temperature of the circumstances that Steve Bruce was working in.
Jim White and Simon Jordan, Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.